Now we have Saturn in Pisces 8, the girl blowing a bugle. Rebelliousness as a sign of coming change. A rebel serves the needs of the community far more than the sheep. Groups are inclined to degenerate quickly from their first position of being a springboard or vehicle for a new initiative. And they are subject to entropy and sclerosis without the vibrant, innovative input that the rebel can offer. Always there is something new on its way, always a group must adapt to that, and always there is the first intuitive people to sense the coming changes. They blow bugles, though few will want to listen to the herald sound of the future. We are approaching such a time now. Rudyard goes into this in his particular way, talking about the Theosophists' ideas of a new race of human beings. And I think we need to more generally appreciate this symbol than that. But the Theosophists were a group of people, a fairly wide-ranging group over different countries and measured in thousands, who were trying to blend the mysteries of the East into Western philosophy, and were promoting the idea of their developments occurring within the human species towards a new evolutionary version of Homo sapiens. I don't know how to understand that, so I can't put my head around it. The changes that are on their way are evident. We can see evidence of this in technology, in social attitudes. The speeding up of our rate of change is the most apparent thing for me at my age to have noticed. It was pretty fast in the olden days, as it were, but now it's ridiculously fast, the rate of change. Not only in terms of technology, which is what you'd expect, but also in terms of issues being discussed. The big issue of how much to help the poor and how much to stabilize your own security is a big one that's ever been present. But now you've got gender questions, and you've got quantum computers and ideas about quantum reality that really are game changers, let alone ChatGPT and the development of AI. So we are definitely approaching a new age. I don't think many people would doubt that. But what they would doubt, generally, is that this is a spiritual thing as well. And I think that's what we can concentrate on with this image of a bugle, is that those of us who are studying this kind of material very often are aware that what is coming is a spiritual lift in a big way, a serious way. So we're waking up. What that means is that we've got a dulled consciousness at the moment, which will be removed from that dullness into a brightness of being. It may well have physical implications, so we may well see the changes in the world, but we're going to experience them on the level of consciousness mostly, if we're awakening people. And the question is whether or not we tell others what's going on for us. And the suggestion is here, where Saturn moves into this degree, that the social contract that we have, Saturn's all about social contract. In other words, our interface, our structured, agreed upon, orderly interface with others, generally, as Saturn is moving into this question of the girl with the bugle, announcement of a change. So we could notice that those of us who do try to announce the coming changes find that rather like Saturn. In other words, it's a bit serious. It gives us a sense of claiming authority. We've got to get it right or it's wrong. Those kind of Saturn things. That might well enter the equation now. Many of us have been talking about how we feel, that the coming changes are real and everything will be better afterwards and so on. And yet here's Saturn saying, well, where's your proof? You know, it's just an intuitive feeling that you're telling me, or where's your proof? Where's your at least evidence? You know, what's the authority for this opinion? And we're going to be asked to justify why we think there is a great awakening occurring. And that's not easy, it really isn't, because we're overcoming prejudice if we manage to get this message out there, and that's never an easy job. But there are developments in the world of science that back up this idea. I read an article this morning that actually uses the word magic in a scientific document, you know, suggesting that space-time, you know, what we call reality, is created out of a condition in the quantum field called magic. They're calling it magic. And it's to do with the description of a black hole as a chaotic space. And the absolute chaos within a black hole is its, you know, it's the perfection of chaos when there is no order at all. And out of that, there came order, which is the space-time universe that we know. And the more difficult it is to simulate a proposal is called magic. So the degree of difficulty is called magic in science now. That's very close to how a mystic sees magic. Like, there is confusion and then you just do magic and there isn't confusion anymore. There is an outcome. Very, very similar. And they've done the same with quantum physics as well. They've told us that pretty much whatever you observe, your attitude of observation is that which creates the article observed. I mean, this has been around since Heisenberg and stuff, 100 years. But the quantum discussions arise out of that idea. Now, science is very, very close to mysticism now in a way that it hasn't been before. And to use the word magic in a scientific proposal, it's just too close to ignore. So this is our authority in a sense to say, yes, there is something happening. It's happening in the realms that science actually need to use the words of mystic, a mystic to describe what they're discovering is the case. You know, that's pretty strong evidence that the realms of science and mysticism are overlapping much more clearly now. And it has been the case for a while. Einstein was quite a mystical person himself. And so for that 100-year period, the line between science and mysticism has been blurred much more than ever before. So this might be our justification. Anyway, Saturn's style of things, heavy, burdensome, responsible, get the job done properly, are going to apply to our willingness to announce anything new. I've been talking about the Great Awakening, but anything you're doing which is different from what your community does. It might be how you dress, it might be your musical tastes, it might be your ideas. And when you present them to the world, Saturn is going to be involved. So we're going to find ourselves being asked to justify why we're doing it this way when nobody else does it that way. And the truth is really that there are trendsetters in the world, and as soon as the zeitgeist is moving in a certain direction, some people are going to be first moving in that direction. And that will not be totally accepted by the mainstream when Saturn's in that degree. It's only there for a short while. This is only a temporary little thing. But we're going to find ourselves required to account for why we are heralding something new coming. And that we won't be able to get away with that quite so easily. We'll have to defend our case and come up with evidence to support why we think differently, why we do things differently, and so on. Account for yourself because you're not doing something the way the community normally likes it done. I would say that's the kind of thing that we might expect.